So, Sunday school, this is chapter 35 of Genesis. We're going to begin. So, it's a continuation story from chapter 34. So, in verse 1 of chapter 35, then God said to Jacob, "Go up to Bethel and settle there, and build an altar there to God, who appeared to you when you were fleeing from your brother Esau." And this is the Bethel I was talking about in the previous video. That was the same spot Jacob spent the night when he was running away from his brother Esau, going to his uncle Laban. And he slept there, put stones as a pillow, slept there, and had that powerful dream. Saw a ladder from heaven coming down to earth. Angels were going up and down to heaven to earth. So when he woke up, he said, God is here. And he anointed those stones and said, this is Bethel. So it's the same Bethel now in Genesis chapter 35. God is telling Jacob to go, to move to there, because his children, his sons have, retaliated against the household of Shechem because they defied their sister Dinah. And Jacob was worried. We are few in number amongst these people. And you have done such a thing. If they attack us, it's going to be terrible. Then God straight away told him, move to Bethel. Go pitch your tents there and pray to me. And in verse 2, so Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, get rid of the foreign gods you have with you. Purify yourselves, change your clothes. Then come, let us go up to Bethel, where I will build an altar to God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and who has been with me for wherever I have gone. So you see, that time he was fleeing, that was his time of distress. In verse 4, so they gave Jacob all the foreign gods they had, and the rings in their ears, and Jacob buried them under the oak of Shechem. So remember Laban's daughters, Leah and Rebekah, when they were coming, fleeing away from their dad, coming with Jacob, they took their dad's idol. He came running after them in search of it, but they hid it, they couldn't see it. So they still had those idols. Those are the idols Jacob is referring to, telling them to go and do away with them, to bring them out, and the rings they have on their nose or their ears. They brought everything, and Jacob buried them under an oak tree in that very land of Shechem. So in verse 5, they set out, and the terror of God fell on the towns all around them, so that no one pursued them. So you see, God fights for his own. Because of what Reuben, Simeon, and the others have done to the household of Shechem, now God has told Jacob to move with his family to go. And on their way going, because God didn't want these people to attack Jacob and his family, verse 5 said, God fell upon the towns all around them, so that no one pursued them. So you see, Jacob and all the people with him came to Luz, that is Bethel, in the land of Canaan. There he built an altar, and he called the place El Bethel, because it was there that God revealed himself to him when he was fleeing from his brother. So did you see that? Now Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, passed away and was buried under the oak below Bethel. Oh my God. So the nurse of Rebekah is Jacob's mom. Jacob's mom is Rebekah, and Rebekah's nurse or maid is the one that they said passed away, and they buried her under the oak tree in Bethel. So it was named Allon Bukat. Allon Bukat. After Jacob returned from Padram, God appeared to him again and blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Jacob, but you will no longer be called Jacob. Your name will be Israel." So he named him Israel. So you see, this is the second time. From the time of the encounter of that man that fought him in that brook, when he was coming, he sent his family and he left alone by that brook. The man came and fought him the whole night. The man was telling him to leave him. It is almost daybreak. Let him go. And he said, "No, I won't leave you until you bless me." So the man named him Israel. He asked him, "What's your name?" He said, "Jacob." He said, "Today, your name is no more Jacob, but Israel." God is buttressing that same statement here. So that means it was God or an angel of God that he had encounter with at that brook. So God is trying to let Jacob know, yes, it was me there and it was me here again. I'm still letting you know that your name is still changed from Jacob to Israel. And God said to him, "I am God Almighty." Verse 11. "Be faithful and increase in number. A nation and a community of nations will come from you." Israel. Your name is Israel. You will be great. Great nation, community will come from you. And a community of nations will come from you. And kings will come from your body. So him, Israel, will have kings from his lineage. "The land I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I also give to you. And I will give this land to your descendants after you." So it's a generational thing. So this promise God promised Abraham at that time. He said, "I will bless you. You will have a great nation. Your descendants will be great. They will be more than the dust of the earth. Look at the stars. Can you count them? That's how your descendants are going to be." So God has said that to Abraham. He has said it to Isaac. And now he's saying it to Isaac's son, Jacob. Because this was the Jacob Isaac gave all the blessings. So God is following that. Because that's his agreement, his promise to their forefathers. He's still trying to fulfill it. Let's carry on. In verse 4, Jacob set up a stone pillar at the place where God had talked with him, and he poured out a drink offering on it. He also poured oil on it. Jacob called the place where God had talked with him Bethel. And in verse 16, they say Rachel dies after giving birth to Benjamin. Oh my God, this is very pathetic. Rachel was the loving wife he first saw from Laban when Laban deceived him. So she didn't have children quick. Before they left, he had the first son, Joseph. So when they moved now to this Bethel, that was where Rachel had the second son. But she passed away during childbirth, and that was the last son of Jacob himself, Benjamin. Verse 16 says they moved on from Bethel. While they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel began to give birth and had great difficulty. And she was having great difficulty in childbirth. The midwife said to her, "Don't be afraid, for you have another son." As she breathed her last, for she was dying, she named her son Ben-Oni, but his father named him Benjamin. So Rachel named the son Ben-Oni, but his father Jacob or Israel named the boy Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Over her tomb, Jacob set up a pillar. Oh my goodness. And to this day, that pillar marks Rachel's tomb. That was a great memorial. That was his favorite wife. Very pathetic. She passed away having the second child for him. And he placed a pillar over her tomb. And in verse 21 now, it says, Israel moved on again and pitched his tent beyond Migdal Eder. While Israel was living in that region, Reuben went in and slept with his father's concubine, Bilhah, and Israel heard of it. So, Bilhah was a maid servant of one of the wives. And his son Reuben now, the eldest son, that's the son of Leah, went and slept with this maid that has given birth to even Jacob, 2 children. Reuben went and slept with this woman. What is sorrow? Let's go ahead. Jacob had 12 sons, the sons of Leah in verse 23. Reuben, the first son of Jacob, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. 6 of them. The sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. So Leah, who was the first wife, but not a loving wife, had 6 children by herself for Jacob. And Rachel, who was the second, who became the second but was the loving wife, had just 2 sons, Joseph and Benjamin. So the sons of Rachel's maid servant, Bilhah. This is the same Bilhah Reuben went to have an affair with. And that was Rachel's maid servant. The sons of Bilhah were Dan and Naphtali. I said it. She had 2 sons for Jacob. So 6 from Leah, 2 from Rachel, that is 8. 2 from Bilhah. Leah's own maid too is going to have sons. So the sons of Leah's maid servant Zilpah, Gad and Asher. These were the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Padan Aram. 12 of them. In verse 27, they said, Jacob came home to his father Isaac in Mamre, near Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had stayed. Isaac lived 180 years. Then he breathed his last and passed away and was gathered to his people, old and full of years. Somebody passed away at the age of 180. He is old and full of years, sure. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Wow. So they were still alive. Isaac was still alive when Jacob moved back to his hometown. So he lived for 180 years and he's passed away. And Jacob and his brother Esau laid him to rest. And that was the end of chapter 35. We are following this family line for something. When we arrive at it, you will get it all right. Thank you.